At least for the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
At least for the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
At least for the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
At least for the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
At least for the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
For the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
For the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
For the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in.
For the moment.
We'll see how long it stays in. We'll see how long it stays in. We'll see how long it stays in. Actually, we do catcher now. Joey Martinez. Actually, we do catcher now. Joey Martinez. Actually, we do 6 foot 100 now. Joey Martinez. Actually, we do 6 foot 100 now. Joey Martinez. Difficulty we've had, but we're back on. And we hope difficulty we've had, but we're back on. And we hope Difficulty had, but we're back on. 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 We hope 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 had, but we're back on. 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 Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Check, test, test. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. And we were earlier.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit, not a whole lot.
So you are getting something though, right?
Well, we're not getting it on the live feed. I'm checking the boards.
We're checking the mixer.
Okay.
No, there it is.
Okay, he said we just got something.
Yeah, we're finally getting something.
We are getting something now on air.
We're going to get this. And the video just froze.
The video just froze, but the audio's there.
Maybe let me jump off because it may be a bandwidth issue.
Okay.
So I'm off. Did it unfreeze?
I don't know yet. It does not appear so.
Check, test, 1, 2, 3.
Wonder if we're playing run rule today because it's 10-3 in the 6th. Right? Is it the 6th?
Your mic is on, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the score is 10-3.
Yeah, our video is frozen right now. So he quit out, right?
Yes.
Is the video still frozen?
Yes.
But we're getting comments that they can hear us now.
Okay.
Okay, we're up to 11-3.
Yeah, it is
Hey.
unfrozen now.
That looks good. Pop fly on the infield. It's going to be caught by shortstop Cole's far, and there's 2 away now here in the bottom of the 7th. Rebels with a runner at third, leading 11-3.
Up now, Chandler, Engelman.
And Chandler Engelman coming to the plate. Pitch is low and away. He takes a pitch at shoulder high, and we go to 2-0.
Well, Chad, we're back on the air.
Well, I think so, but it sounds like we're going to get some feedback. Full count, 2 away, runner at third. Swing and a miss, and that will end the Rebel threat with a runner at third.
Yeah, I think we are. All right, well, thank you so much, and I don't know what you did, but
Yeah, basically I just switched the input for the audio. I took it off and then I added it back onto the USB line key. Basically reset everything for you.
okay, well, thank you very much, appreciate it.
You're watching and listening Newton Rebels baseball. This is a preseason game. We've been spending our evening trying to get the rust off and trying to get equipment to work that, quite honestly, we spent all year trying to get to work last year and struggled and struggled and struggled and finally went to just using a cell phone and going Facebook Live. But we've been calling in tech support today and doing whatever we can to get things moving. And it would appear, at least at the moment, that we are up and running the way we want to be running. And that's a relief. A lot of the ball players at the Ball Diamond are feeling that same way along about now. Most of these folks have not played baseball in several months. If they've been working out, they've been doing it on their own because we have been in this time of stay-at-home orders and COVID-19. As we move through the process of reopening the country in every way, shape, or form here in Kansas, we're currently in our phase 3 in Harvey County. Each county now left to do as they please as we try and reopen our economy and get back together and see people face to face. Just a personal note there, folks, and this is not a political statement. It is a public health statement. The virus is still out there. It is still spreading. We do not have a cure. We do not have a vaccine. So, at least be respectful of those of us that try and do some social distancing and actually try and not be at places like the ballpark, okay? 2-0 the count now as we get the inning started. 3-0 as the pitch tails upstairs and much too tall, and on 4 pitches, Cole Sfar has drawn a walk. That will bring up Creighton Kelly on my roster, up number 17. We've got a pinch hitter in there, or a substitution because we've been working on a whole bunch of stuff. Eric Reeder now from Goddard Eisenhower High School in the ball game for 316 Elite. It's 1-0 as the first pitch to him will miss. Will come inside, letter high, and it'll be a called strike, and the count will go to 1-1. Will miss upstairs, just a little too far upstairs, and the count will go to 2-1. Pitch is upstairs again, and I'm going to nudge Coach Clark just a little bit. We've got a pitcher in the ball game that I don't have a number for. He wasn't on the pregame roster. That a product of the largest roster in Rebel history. And they're done selling 50-50 tickets, and thank you, Frank. It's Ryan Nipfer on the mound right now. He's out of Derby, Kansas. He's a freshman at Dakota State right now. Bats and throws right. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. And want to throw a shout out and a thank you to Frank and Brenda for loaning us your son this summer as he plays baseball here in Newton. Count will run to 1-1 after missing upstairs and a little on the outside half. Nipfer will line deliver, fouled back to the screen, and the count will move to 1-2. One and two to Nipfer. He will loft one into left field. That will be caught. And there's one away. Runners at first and second for the Elite. Sager Holman now coming to the plate for the Elite. So I will apologize in advance. I won't have much in the way of post-game stats. I'm cut from an old cloth and do everything myself. Unfortunately, we've been working tech, and I haven't been able to stat the game. Holman, the number 2 man in the batting order. He has struck out tonight. He has walked tonight. I know that much. First pitch is a shoulder-high fastball. That'll be ball 1. Pitch is high and away, and the count will go to 2-0. Pitch will be in the dirt. It'll be 3-0. Catches the inside half of the plate with a pitch, and it'll be 3-1 now. He'll lunge after the ball, step on third, throw to first. And they'll say that he was safe at first because the throw pulled him away. There'll be 2 away with runners at first and second. Caden Moore got the force out and went after the double play ball, but the throw was just a little too much at first.
Number 4, Caleb Kice.
And that pulled Chandler Henkelman off the bag. He's a 6-footer, 240 pounds out of Tabor's. He's a big boy. Takes a little bit to get him off that bag. 0-1 the count now as Nipfer starts work again. Goes after the outside corner and will miss. And Kice will now run the count to 1-1. Pitch comes well inside. And the count will run to 2-1. What are you thinking, Frank?
I'm thinking I can't wait till the next ball game. Hopefully this is the way it works.
Yeah, last 5 minutes been kind of nice, haven't
Last 5 minutes of the ball game. Exactly.
they? So, yeah.
There is a lot of people that we do need to thank after all this is over with.
Yes, we'll get to some thanking some folks, and count will go to full. I'm looking at my list of sponsors, and man, there's some folks on here I really got to talk about. Full count now as Nipfer is working on 2 away and called third strike on a breaking ball. And that'll end it. At least that inning. It is 11-3 here.
We will announce the winner.
Okay. And while we're going to go to a break here, we're going to go ahead and do our video again just to see if we get a sound.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
good. Let's see what happens.
If your ticket has the number 0, 1, 9, 1, 2, 8. Sounds like we have a winner. Go meet Mark and Kevin under the backstop to get your picture taken and win the money.
Need to, here, right here. Hey, we're back with some baseball for you. We're in Newton, Kansas at Klein Scott Field in the preseason warm-up game, if you will, for the Newton Rebels as they take on the 316 Elite. And make no bones about it, 316 Elite is a good baseball team. They have had draft picks on this team in the past. Pop fly over towards second base will be fielded by Caleb Keiss. Colton Crockett now in to pitch for the Elite here in this half inning.
Number 13, there it is. Justin.
Coming up to the plate for the Rebels, number 13, Darren Doxson. He's going to lay down a bunt, and he's hustling down that line, and it's going to, catch a rock and go foul. But he would have been safe. No two ways about it. There's no way they'd have got him on that. Better talk to the groundskeepers. We need those balls to stay fair.
Well, I was impressed with him during practice. He was laying down some really good bunts. And he just showed you there one.
And he'll dump this one into shallow right field. And with one away, Rebels have one at first. I want to take a moment. Do I really have to? It's Kevin Pouch. Thank Pouch Enterprises. Yes, we got to thank Kevin. Not only is he a major sponsor, he's a board member. Thank you for supporting Rebel baseball, Kevin. Here we are, 11-3 with the lead with Newton. And coming to the plate for the Rebels, number 5, Aaron Eichelman. Hometown, Pretty Prairie, Kansas. Oh my. Home to the largest night rodeo in the state of Kansas, Pretty Prairie. throw will get away from them at second and will end up with a stolen base. They had him dead to rights. Strike was delivered to the former Pretty Prairie Bulldog, who is now a junior at Dordt University. Oh my, I know where that is too. This is scary. So the Dordt University product will take one high and away, and the count will go to 1-1. Folks, if you're new to Rebel Baseball, you will come to learn that my brain is full of totally useless information. 2-1 the count as it tails away. Pitch comes inside, and Eshelman will give a little hop away from it, and count will go to 3-1. Swing and a miss. Count will go full. He had bad intentions for that baseball. Runner at second. One down. Puts the ball in play. It's going to bounce towards short. They will retire Eshelman at first. The throw from Spar in time. Take a moment here and thank Realty Connections, Store Stuff, and U-Haul. That's Brad Elliott and Connie Vinar for their sponsorship of Newton Rebel Baseball. Inside out's the pitch. And Ethan White will be retired on the catch out in center field. Also want to thank Roofing Services Unlimited. That's Brent Kaufman. Here's some of that well, no, this is not useless information. This is good information. Brent Kaufman, a Newton High School Hall of Fame member for his exploits in cross country when he was a railer. He's also, as luck would have it, the sponsor of my son's machine pitch team. We're in our final year of rec ball with my oldest son. And at some point we'll get into those things that happened in my life since the last time we met over baseball. And it's been quite a year. But I wouldn't change a thing.
We also have to thank our sponsor for tonight.
Yes. Tim Marlar, the Marlar family. They made sure that everybody who showed up could get in. It's pretty awesome. Aiden Rolfe coming out to pitch for the Rebels, one of the hometown kids. He's from Newton, Kansas. Fine young man, actually. Bats left, throws right. He's 6'2", 170 pounds. He's attending Hilbert College, where he is a junior.
And I bet you knew he was a submariner.
Yes, it did. Mom is Julie Burton. We'll take a moment and thank Shamrock Car Wash for their sponsorship of Newton Rebels baseball. Well, heck, this is as good a time any. So, Frank, since the last time I've seen you, I've coached wrestling, become a certified wrestling coach, became a ordained minister, had a near-death experience due to food poisoning, survived COVID-19 and everything else. It's been a year, to say the least.
All in 1 year's time, huh?
All in 1 year's time.
That I'd like to thank Chris Worrell, who put together our pregame video.
Man, that thing's sweet, isn't it?
It's pretty nice. If you have not seen it, we'll play it again at the conclusion of our broadcast. give you a good broadcast our next game.
So ground ball over towards short. They will retire Devin Nicholson to open up the half inning. And there's one away. Well, that's what the first night is for, right? That's what preseasons are for.
Exactly right. They're practicing, and so are we.
Yeah, it's not just the players that got to knock the rust off and get things moving.
Most of our broadcasts will be on YouTube. There's only one game, or the games that we play at X Stadium, that the Newton Rebels will not be carrying, but it will be carried by the Sunflower League. Those games will be at WSU at X Stadium. And once again, those games will be on YouTube, but will be carried by the Sunflower League.
Yep. Connor Allen, the batter for the Elite right now. Aiden will be facing a 2-0 count on this delivery. The Submariner comes inside, too far inside, and he'll send Allen down to first. Next game for the Rebs,
Will be
Monday, right?
Correct. Monday the 15th, they'll be against the Hutchinson Monarchs. We'll be here in town. That game starts at 7 p.m.
I will, at a bare minimum, be late to that ball game. I've got my son doing youth ball this year, so we're going to have to be dealing with some of that in that evening. But I'll make it here as soon as I can. The Monarchs' arrival. Colton Crockett will foul the first offering from Aiden away, and that'll be 0-1. And I'm pretty sure that Hutch is still a little bit upset over what happened a couple years ago when our record wasn't all that skippy, and we went to the qualifier tournament and beat them in the first round as the underseed, and then turned around and beat them in the consolation bracket. We went to the NBC, they stayed home. Or at least by automatic bids, they stayed home. And they didn't feel too good about that.
That makes it tough when they feel like they ought to be there.
0-2 the count now. Rolf will deliver. Pops him up on shallow on the infield. That ball will be caught over at first base. And there's 2 away. The Elite will send Colin Ribb. He's going to Neosho Community College. Rolf will deliver. Low and away. Count is 1-0. Swing and a miss. And that'll even the count at 1-1 for Rolf. Swing and a miss. Count will go to 1-2.
Well, Chad, you're going to be doing most of all the home games here. I'll be doing the away games. And you asked me earlier whether we're taking all 3 cameras or not. And we'll be taking them, but we'll be setting up just one behind home plate like we have here this evening. We have the 2 cameras that we're going to hopefully mount on the fence area where it'll be shooting out towards left field, one towards right field, and then one directly to cover the whole field. So that's what our plans are, and hopefully we can get that done.
Yep. And with each one, we add a level of complexity. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, but hey, it's going to be fun. 1-2 your count now as we take a look at what's going on the diamond. He's going to back it to the backstop, and we'll stay at 1-2. Again, there's 2 away with a runner at first. And Rebels are ahead 11-3. They've out-hit their guests 12-4 thus far in the ball game. Both teams have 2 errors charged. In the hole at second, that's going to be just a little much to be handled. Was a tough play to make, but the end result is now runners at first and second with 2 away.
Up now, Cole.
Spar will come to the plate. Ground ball. Throw to first in plenty of time. And that will end the threat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Want to take a moment, and we're going to thank Peyton Paw, attorneys at law out of Wichita, for their sponsorship of Rebel Baseball. Chris Pate, a former Rebel player, manager, coach, the whole 9 yards for the Rebels. Also want to thank Affordable Autos of Wichita and Carl Hodges of Newton, the founder of Newton Rebel Baseball. That's Carl. We'll also thank Remax Associates of Newton, operated by Alex Carbajal. He was sponsor of my son's t-ball team last year. I got 2 sons, by the way. And thank Dr. Brett Roofs, DDS. He's had a rough spring. Hopefully things will go better for him soon. And we'll thank player parents John and Lori Oldham out of Dodge City for their support of Newton Rebel Baseball. It takes them all.
Yes, and once again, we'd like to thank Chris Worrell, who did our pregame video for us. Did a great job.
So just so everybody knows, this is a preseason game. We're heading to the bottom of the 9th with the Rebels up 11-3. We're apparently going to play the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, coaches want to get some extra players in, so they're going to play the bottom half of the 9th. Also like to thank Trifecta IT Solutions. Jim Franco from San Diego, who helped us out with the calls here tonight, finally got us on air. You did part of that, Chad, but finally got our sound going, and we'd like to thank them very much.
Everything's a process.
That's, yeah. Now, if we can do the same thing on Monday when we get started, I'll be one happy camper.
Hopefully it'll go easier on Monday, right?
You know, you haul all this equipment around, and you want to put on a good product for the fans, and it's kind of frustrating when it doesn't work. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully we got the kinks out, and now we're on, and as long as we don't change anything, it should be great.
So here we are to open up the bottom of the 9th. Count to 1-0 and fouled back to the screen. Pops him up into foul territory. That's going to head towards the stands, back towards the parking lot. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of baseball out here this season. If you decide to come out to one of the most beautiful ballparks in central Kansas, with one of the greatest playing surfaces in central Kansas, it's all natural grass. Make sure you park out by Kansas Avenue and not in the parking lot right behind the stadium. Line shot towards center, and that will be plucked out of the sky for out number 1. Rebs have 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th. Ricardo Perez now coming to the plate for the Rebels. Breaking ball will miss outside. Perez will just watch it go by for ball one. And if you're watching this on a screen big enough to see, that's number 2 out there for 316 Elite, and there's not a number 2 on the roster. Perez will loft one towards left. It'll be off the wall by the votes sign, and he'll cruise into second with a stand-up double. Locken Ross now coming to the plate for the Rebs. He's got a duck on the pond in scoring position. He will loop one into shallow right. That will be bobbled, but runners will be at the corners as a result.
And there was one other person that I meant to thank, and I just slipped my mind here for a second. But Carlos Romero from Arizona has been giving us good feedback on the volume and also the audio and the video. So, Carlos, thank you so much for your help. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Now to plate is Sawyer Floyd. He'll take strike one just below the hands, right down the middle of the plate, and the count will be 0-1. Floyd will take a pitch in the dirt, and count will go to ones. This pitch will get away, head back to the screen. One run will score, and runner will advance to second. Floyd now has a runner in scoring position. The Rebels with a 12-3 lead. Meeting of the minds on the mound. And for the NBC tournament, which has yet to announce its dates or formats, there will be limitations on things like trips to the mound and who can be there and how many people can be there. It's going to be an interesting summer. Pitches upstairs to Floyd, and it is now 3-1. The National Baseball Congress is waiting on announcements by the Wichita Wind Surge that would affect field availability for a possible NBC World Series. Count is now full.
And you're talking about at the new stadium.
Yes, the new stadium down Wichita way.
Called the Riverfront Stadium.
Yes. Bouncer towards first. Stepped on first. And now there's 2 away with a runner at third. My father bought season tickets to the Wind Surge, and he's still waiting to hear what's going to happen with that.
I happen to have a couple seats also at for the new stadium, and so we were very disappointed that they're not able to play.
And the Wichita Force got caught up in that as
Got
well.
caught up in that too. They just announced their cancellation of their season. That's the indoor football team.
Yep, that was a league decision.
Yep.
Yes.
Kevin Jinks put out something. Kevin Jinks is the tournament director for the NBC World Series, and he put out a questionnaire the other day about wondering what the latest day would be for the championship. He's looking at possibly the 15th, and was sending out that questionnaire for all the coaches to come back and say, is that too late or not? So he's kind of got his hands tied, not knowing what whether that stadium's going to be available or not. So
Yeah, and we got to get the guys back to school.
That's
you
right.
know. So we'll see what happens with the NBC. It's an amazing tournament. It'd be sad to see it not make a go, but this is the world we live in. Swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout, and that should end the ball game. Thank you for joining us this evening. We know it's been a rough one. No one knows more rough than us tonight. But we thank you for sticking with us. We thank you for joining us for Newton Rebel Baseball. We hope to see you back here on Monday, and we do hope, honestly, to see you here at the stadium at some point this summer.
yeah, we do. And like I say, our next game is Monday on the 15th against the Hutchinson Monarchs. The game time is scheduled for 7 o'clock. We'll try to get on the air about 6:55 for pregame stuff, and then get started with the game at 7 o'clock. So all our sponsors, we'd like to thank them once again. We appreciate the support. And Tim Marler family, we appreciate you being our sponsors here this evening. Is that all you got, Chad?
Just keep your stick on the ice. It's been real, it's been fun, and it's been real fun.
And so, folks, that does it for us for tonight. Once again, we do apologize about the problems that we've had, but we think we've got them straightened out. We hope we do anyway. We'll find out Monday night if we do or not. This is Frank Martinez and Chad Fry, the play-by-play announcers for the Newton Rebels baseball. Wish you a good evening, and we'll see you Monday night.